Happy New Year to my good friend, Brian Cummings.
Happy New Year, Regan.
How are you, pal?
Yeah, I'm doing okay, thank you. I'm doing okay. Yourself?
Yeah, okay. I think we're starting into more COVID restrictions here in Ontario. Just been having a quick look at the news. Looks like they're going to start shutting everything down, restaurants and things again. So here we go again.
Sorry to hear that. Yeah, the UK seems to be England seems to be ignoring everything at the moment. Numbers seem to be skyrocketing, but hospitalizations aren't too bad. So maybe we're doing the right thing. I don't know.
I hope so. Well, we should be together, shouldn't we? We should be in a few weeks. We should be it's in the skies together.
I think it's about 38 days actually, Regan, till I get to see you, buddy. Not that I'm counting this till the sunshine, but yeah, I'm looking forward to Costa Rica, dude.
Costa Rica, Rich Grimm, Tsunami Skydivers. Good to have you on board, Brian. Such a great place. I can't wait to be in the sky with you there.
Thank you very much. I'm looking forward to it a lot. I'm actually reading Rich Grimm's book right now, The Tales of Henry Putt and White House Stories, or something like that. It's making me laugh out loud a lot, and I'm looking forward to meeting him in the flesh.
I've got his book on my bedside table. It's in a queue of about 3 or 4 other ones at the moment, but I'll get there. So Brian, tell us a little bit what's going on. Full-time skydiving. Tell me about that bit of your life first. What you're doing, tunnel and sky. What's going on?
Yeah, so I'm a skydive and tunnel coach. I primarily belly. I'm pretty rubbish at every other discipline. I'm okay at wingsuiting, I guess. Yeah. And I don't know. I left a corporate career 2015 in the summer. AFF instructor. Live in the Northern Hemisphere in Europe, in London. Not in London. I moved in the UK, and jumping is okay, but tunnel is more regular in this sort of climate. So I do a little bit more tunnel coaching than I do skydiving, but I try and get around as much as I can with a bit of both.
What was your corporate life in the real world? What were you doing?
I worked for an investment bank called Lehman Brothers. And in 2008, we went bankrupt, and I watched thousands of people leave the building with cardboard boxes in their hands, never to come back. It was quite an interesting time. And I don't know, we had 4,500 people employed there at 7:56, and at 7:57, we didn't really know what had happened. We fired from administration, and I think about 450 were asked to stay on to sort of sweep up and turn out the lights.
Yeah.
And I ended up staying there for another 7 years, clearing up the mess. And I think it's still going, to be honest. It was huge. It's huge.
Did you ever, during the height of it and the good times there, did you ever have the idea in your head about getting out and joining the circus for the rest of us, or was it not something in your mind, or what? Yeah,
well, I made this massive faux pas where I grew up in Bedford. I lived there until the age of 22. I was didn't really know what I was going to do, but 22, I went back to university. Well, I went to university for the first time, and September. So I finished university and I got a job in the Big Smoke, a graduate scheme job. And September 2005 was the month I started, but it's also the month that the world's largest wind tunnel opened in Bedfordshire. Yeah. Sort of 10 miles from where I grew up. I had no idea at the time. I don't know how I missed it. I was only a baby skydiver at the time. So I lived in Bedford for 22 years until the month the world's largest wind tunnel opened. And then I moved away. And wow. I feel like if I hadn't, so a lot of things happened for me to get this job on this graduate scheme. And if any one of them hadn't happened, I'd have been bumming around Bedford in the summer. Yeah. And I'd have found out about it, and I'd have turned up and I'd have painted the walls, and I'd have ended up working there, I'm sure. Yeah. And things would be probably very different.
There's a bit of an ongoing conversation I've been having with a few people. I spoke to Laura Higgins last week about her going into full-time sky. Not Laura Higgins, sorry, apologise. Laura Hampton, yes. Laura Higgins is another skydiver who isn't full-time yet. She's still working in the real world. So it's interesting for me because that's kind of a bit what I did. It wasn't corporate work. I was in recruitment, and then I went full-time. But I was a bit older. I was 34. And I think people always find it quite fascinating when you've got a steady job, steady income, and something like you were doing, a good income and a good lifestyle, to move into to this full-time skydiving lark. It's very interesting, the psychology behind it.
I couldn't wait to get out. I hated it. I mean, it was a very interesting situation. It was quite strict towards the end. I don't know how to put this. It was super interesting at times, but towards the 7th year of clearing up this administration, it was getting a little bit more routine, and I was up for redundancy for the 3rd time.
Yeah.
And when they finally said, Brian, you've got to go. So we're really, really sorry. There was a little cheer inside. It was one of those corporate jobs where they'd said we had to be at our desk at 9 o'clock and we had to be at our desk at 6 o'clock, whether we had work to do or not. And it's a massive chunk of time, and we couldn't flex on that at all. And I like having the autonomy of being a skydiver, of working for myself, of being self-employed. I dislike working in a sport that's weather dependent, customer dependent, and sort of my own health. If I twist an ankle or something, I can't work. So that's a bit frustrating, but choosing what I do and when I do and where I go, like Costa Rica in February, it's great for me right now.
Good. And so at the moment, has there been any times where you've been tempted to go back into that corporate lifestyle, or there must be more?
Yeah, I mean, with the whole pandemic that's been kicking off, and my daughter is now 2.5. Yeah. So there's a little bit of pressure to have a slightly more regular income. I can't live in a caravan on the drop zone in the summer anymore, so bills are slightly larger. So that's a bit of a worry. But you just keep doing the thing, keep smiling, and seems to be working out so far. Good. I'll let you know in another 6 months' time.
Yeah, it's always one to the next, isn't it? One month to the next month to the next year. That's what we do. We keep moving on. Tell us about the podcast as well. That's another successful part of your life. This has been going for quite a few years.
Yeah, we're doing all right. So Craig Poxon, thank you very much, dude. He approached me about starting a podcast. And that was 2014. So I had major organ surgery in 2013, the end of 2013. I changed a few things, changed my viewpoint on stuff. I had 6 months off work. And I had a lot of time then. Craig approached me about the podcast. I thought, why not? Give it a go. And we've got, 84 podcasts so far. We've been going for about 7 years. So we do about 12 a year. So I think it averages out one a month, although sometimes it's one a week and sometimes it's one every 6 months. But we're getting there. I think we're about 110,000 downloads now, and we get about 2,000 downloads a month when we're when we're regular, shall we say.
Give it a plug. Tell us what it is.
Oh my bad. It's called Radio Skydive UK. It's ironic. I had a little worry about what to wear for this podcast, for this interview, because I don't really do video stuff. I like hiding behind the microphone, and not being on camera. And then I realized I was actually wearing a t-shirt from a podcast who's a good friend of ours. They sent me a t-shirt and I was like, I can't wear a competitor's podcast, no matter how much I like them. So I had to quickly grab our own t-shirt. But Radio Skydive UK, radioskydive.uk is a website. You can find us anywhere where you get your podcast or audio from.
And what kind of content is it? Interviews and chat and news?
Yeah, so we do a lot about news. There's nearly always a feature headline with somebody pretty decent in the sport or somebody with an interesting story. We've got little segments like a School of Hard Knocks where somebody relays a story where they learn something that would hopefully be teaching people how to avoid making the same mistake as them. We've got little segments like Ask the Expert where you can hear something about a very snippet of sort of professional talk about something, as do other stuff. Just go and have a listen. If you've got a journey to a drop zone, stick it on your phone, plug it into your car, have a listen. It'll keep you awake on the Sunday night on the way back home, or it will cheer you up in the drive to the drop zone in the morning. Yeah,
I've listened to a few. It's great. I do enjoy it.
You've been on it.
Yeah,
I think you were episode 17 actually, Regan.
Quite back in the day, wasn't it?
It was, yeah. Interviewed by Tash. I think you were in Germany at the time, yeah.
No, I think it was in Dubai.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, in one of the team tents. I remember it. Yeah, I remember it now. Yes. Yeah, it was a bit of a funny one. The adrenaline was flowing. I'd just come off the mic, and Tash was there, so I was all agitated and full on power. So I think she wondered what hit her. It was like a tsunami of.
Yeah, I always thought you'd go into podcasting or something like that, Regan. I should have realised it'd be like a video.
It's funny, isn't it, how things move along and things turn out. Do you want to talk a little bit about your that time with your surgery? Because that was, I mean, if you don't, it's fine. But
yeah, I don't mind.
It was pretty rough, wasn't it, for a time for you?
Yeah, so I've got a hereditary condition, FAP, familial adenomatous polyposis, polyps in the colon. 1 in 8 turn cancerous, and when they first put a camera where the sun doesn't shine, they realized I had a couple of hundred. So it then became a case of not if, but when I got cancer. So we were monitoring it for a few years. I did the guy thing of sticking my head in the sand and just ignoring the problem. I had no symptoms. My life was pretty good. I was skydiving. I was doing everything I could. It got to a point where there were enough polyps that they couldn't be seen every 6 months when I was going for colonoscopy. And then if they missed one, that could be the one that was turning cancerous. They might miss it then the second time, and you'd never know. I was in my mid to late 30s, and nothing was black and white about the decision, but all the factors were slightly darker grey than 50%. I had a career at the time with private healthcare, which I was super grateful for. That was very appreciated. And yeah, so I had this surgery. They removed my colon, total colectomy, so my large intestine. They took out about 6 foot of internal plumbing. And then they just joined the two ends back up, and you kind of carry on. I was due to be in hospital for 5 nights and off work for 6 weeks, but had a few complications, and the 5 nights in hospital became 12 weeks, and the 6 weeks off work became 6 months. So I dropped about 19, 20 kilograms in that first month. So I was down to about 60 kilograms. I was pretty frail, in a lot of pain. And it was a bit of a shock to the system. So yeah, I think I was out of jumping for 9 months, came back, did a hop and pop from the first one, and then just slowly got back into it. And it was just, I think it was the desire to go skydiving that really helped push you. And things are tough, but then you do it a second time, it's never quite as tough as the first time, but you've got to have that incentive. You've got to have something to drive you forward. So we've got a reason why, a little bit of carrot at the end of the stick. So, I mean, I've met some really interesting people since. And someone you should interview is Pete Spedding.
I'm familiar with Pete, yeah. Tell me why.
He'd be really interesting because he had a very similar surgery, but 20 years ago. But he actually has a bag. It's I forget the exact name of it, but he's just been jumping with a bag. He's got 2,000 skydives with a bag, and hundreds of hours of tunnel time with a bag. So I think that's really amazing how he copes with it better.
Yeah.
He's got a book out as well, actually.
Is he a dental technician or dental surgeon?
Yes, he was. He had his own dental business. It's what's his book called? It's You, See and Me and Jumping Out of Perfectly Good Airplanes, PJ Spedding. Amazon. So that's another good read, as well as Rich's book.
Get that on the list. And what about now? Are you do you think you're fully recovered, Brian, for where you want to be? I mean, are you
well, I mean, so recovered. I'm never going to grow a large intestine again. They don't do transplants. I have a slightly different lifestyle to most people's. I have 6 foot less internal piping than you guys. So I can't store as much as you can. I go to the toilet once or twice more per day. I can't separate waste solids from waste fluids quite as easily. So when I do go, it's a little bit more watery. I take some medication like Imodium, like loperamide, 2 milligrams every day, like 1 tablet, just to slow things down. I find it difficult to put weight on. So keep having to eat, and I can't process salt very well. So without a little bit of salt, I have to add extra salt to my diet. If I don't add salt, I get really lethargic, and it's super frustrating because I'll wake up in the morning and I normally take an electrolyte drink and like a sports drink, and I just have it in the morning just to get over it. And some days I forget. I have no idea why, because I've been doing it for so many years now. And I'll be like, oh, I've got to go jumping. Oh, I don't really feel like jumping. And it'll be a glorious blue sky day. And I'll be like, oh, I'm just not going to bother jumping. And it'll get to sort of lunchtime, 1 o'clock. And inevitably the clouds have rolled in. I'll be like, why am I feeling so listless? Why have I not got any energy today? I'm like, oh, I haven't had that. I haven't had my drink. And I just, super frustrating. But yeah, if I just keep on top of things, then no one really knows. No one can tell. You know, I've run 2 marathons since. I've done some decent bike rides in length, 100 miles and stuff. And yeah, qualified as a skydiving instructor, a couple of world records in FS and wingsuiting, and yeah, all of that since leaving the corporate lifestyle and having my surgery.
Interesting stuff. And your big way training, you take a lot of beginners for big way. For people in other air sports who might not know what I'm talking about, the bike drop I've got there. I think you might have been in that. That was the Imperia Challenge.
2006.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was. I might be on the very edge. I think I'm right behind you, actually, in the very distance. You might have to, no, left a bit. I can't tell. I'm in a white jumpsuit with blue booties. Anyway, big way skydiving. Yeah, I got taught by somebody very early on, Caroline Hughes, of how to teach big way. And I see lots of people teaching big way and they all do a really good job, but no one does it quite like she did it. And I just kind of took that mantle on, and we just used to get some really rave reviews from the events when we worked together. Yeah. Well, I worked for her really. And then she kind of stepped back from skydiving, and I just started using that ethos. No blame. It's not about the points. It's not about the formation. It's about the big way camps I run. I'm running one in Klatovy in the Czech Republic. It's at the end of May. Yeah. It's the first time I'm going to try and fill 80 spots, 80 places. So that's a bit of a pressure on me, especially with COVID times. We're at 63 already. So we've got 17 spaces left if you're watching. Right. Check out briancumming.com/big if you want to come and join us. And it's all about the process of getting to the formations. There's no blame. I'm going to rotate everybody around into positions where they're comfortable, and then out of those positions where they're comfortable into positions they'd never normally get picked for, so they can try it out, so they can make all their mistakes in a safe space where no one really cares. Yeah. And that means that when they do go to an event where there's pressure, like the 2006 Imperia Challenge behind 2006, yeah, I think it was. I was
16. Was it 16? No, it wasn't 16. It was 2000.
I'm pretty sure it was 2006, maybe 2007.
It might have been
2006. I've got the T-shirt somewhere. I cherish that T-shirt because I was the lowest number of jumps on it.
Were you?
Yeah, I got told by the Ivan who ran Imperia at the time. He's like, "Well, come along. If you're good, we'll keep you on it, and if you mess up, we'll just cut you." And I kind of got into big way then, really enjoyed it, and just I just want to teach it. And I'm running a 40-way camp at the end of July as well, which is about 25% full at the moment. Again, a class of the out the sky vans. It's a great drop zone. It's a shame it's only open sort of 6 weeks a year.
Yeah. And Rob's going to be with. Is Rob with you on one of those? Rob Kendall.
Rob Kendall, yeah. So Rob's been a big fan. He's a big supporter. He really helped me. He's the Sunpath rep. Used to be the Cyprus rep, and he's been a big supporter. And I've got to thank Sunpath, one of my main sponsors. Thank you very much, guys. He's been super helpful, and he's a really cheerful, happy guy, and he knows his stuff. Yeah. So he's coming with me to both camps to load organize as well. And I'm picking got some Laura Hampton's coming. She's going to be one of the captains as well.
What about Laura Higgins?
Laura, never heard of her. I don't actually know that lady, but yeah, no, Laura Hampton. I like her style. And the fourth one, I haven't decided yet. We're just assessing numbers. I think we're going to need a fourth load organizer for a fourth group, but I'm working on it. It was Mr. Pete Allen last year. Things were a bit weird, and not very many of the Brits could go. I think only one made it, but Pete and Rob were able to run it in my absence. But his schedule books up like a year ahead. So by the time we had dates for this year, he couldn't make it. So I'm thinking I'm actually going to grow some people who've been on the camp before and see if how good they get on with load organising, with obviously proper support and stuff like that.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
So here we are now, January, New Year. What's going to happen in the next 38 days before you get yourself down to Central America?
I have no idea. So I really don't. So in a couple of weeks' time, I'm supposed to be going to Paris to try out the tunnel at Wimby. I'm going to try and fly some 8-way in there, but not your regular kind of 8-way, the kind of 8-way that I like to fly in the tunnel. But I have no idea. France is a little bit more strict.
Can you get into France at the moment? Can you get in there?
Yes, if you've got an exceptional reason.
Right.
And apparently tunnel flying is not exceptional. But we find out, I think there's a new government update on Friday, so we find out then. There's the Skydive, the Expo at the end of January in Nottingham, the East Midlands Conference Centre, so everyone should come along watching this. It's a really great way. I've got tables to come along and meet me, trying stuff out, just got to experiment with a few things. I've just exhausted the last couple of years that it's actually run, trying to get around to see everyone and speak to as many people. So now I've got a table. Yeah. Here I am, guys, come and see me. Hello. So yeah, if you're at the Expo, please come along and say hello.
Good stuff. Well, what's the date of that again? The Expo, Brian?
Oh, it's like the 27th, 28th, 29th. It's the last weekend in January.
Yes.
So it's a black tie dinner in the evening. I mean, they've got their boring AGM where my co-host for the podcast, Craig Poxon, will do some talking, but no one goes to that. You don't need to hear Craig. It's fine. And yeah, then there's the seminars in the afternoon. I'm doing a seminar about Big Way. It's going to be called, so here's another plug, Brit 200, how to from FS1 to Brit 200, how to get on big ways and how to stay on big ways.
It's been a long time the Brits has been at a 100.
Yeah, 1999, wasn't it? Before my time. And yeah, they did 100 way over Langer in summer of 1999. And we've never gone bigger, and we just watch other countries doing 200s. And I think Germany was going for 230, and then talk about sequentials, and Australia does 100 and Brazil does 100 and something. And it's just, there's lots of countries out there now. We've not done anything for 22, 23 years now. So there is a certain amount of pride that we want to do it in the UK, but I think if it was going to happen in the UK, it would have happened by now. And the planes and the weather is just that issue. It's just too expensive to get all the planes in, and they're just a little bit too unreliable on the money side. So we'll see what happens. And I'm hopefully going to run something towards the end of 2022 as a first step. I don't think so. Again, maybe thinking a little bit differently to a lot of people, but we've got, I think, maybe 120 people in the UK who could just step up and smash out a new British record straight away. But I want to build a 200 way. And we need 80 people who aren't quite there yet, perhaps. So I need to help those guys grow, and I need to grow as a load organizer myself. You know, I've not done an 80 way before. I couldn't do 120, 200 is beyond me. So I need to grow, they need to grow. So I'm going to go, hopefully we'll organize some 80 ways. We'll get used to that. We'll test it out, see if there's demand. And if that works, 2 years later, we'll do 120 ways. And if that works, 2 years after that, 200 ways. I'm assuming you'll be there, Regan.
I'll give it a go. I'll drag myself. Might have to lose a little bit more weight, or else I know what my slot will be.
We can work it out. We can work it out. We can help.
Yeah. Good stuff, Brian. Well, nice to catch up with you, and good luck with the AGM. Is it still called the AGM, or is it? No, it's not called the AGM anymore, is it?
The AGM is a 2-hour segment between sort of 10 and 12 on the Saturday morning, but there's so much more to it. Skydive the Expo, the exposition. Okay. It's phenomenal. It's going to be like 800 skydivers in a hotel for a whole weekend. Friday night is brilliant. Saturday night is excellent. We've got there's a black tie do. We've got a couple of tables, so yeah, it should be a right crack. Hopefully it all goes ahead. We'll see what happens. People are fully boosted, fully vaccinated. People are boosted. So, and the UK government doesn't seem to want to change anything right now. So we'll see how it goes.
I can think of at least twice that I've had such a good time on the Friday that I've completely missed the Saturday night.
Yeah, it is. It can be awkward. There's definitely a situation. Yeah, it is a really good one. And you know, when the main venue shuts, the hotel bar is still open. I've definitely got photos from 5:15 a couple of years in a row of a large crowd still just talking, and it's just great. It's just great to see everyone after,
especially when the days are dark and all the rest of it.
Yeah, and there's a lot of drop zone shut. I mean, you know, Skydive Langer's open every year, every day except Christmas Day. Yeah. But majority of drop zones shut for at least 2-3 weeks, if not a couple of months. So for a lot of people, they haven't seen each other for a while.
Oh well, I'll see you next month in Central America, in Costa Rica.
Absolutely. I look forward to celebrating your birthday with an in-hop into some party venue.
It's brilliant.
Just down the beach.
Yeah.
Thank you for the call.
I'll see you there, Brad. You take care, man.
Take care.